The AP Top 25 dropped this week, and they got people hot. Welcome back to one of the top college football shows in the land. Gotta proclaim it, gotta believe it in order for it to happen, man. I appreciate everybody tuning in, man. I want to make this the best college football landscape audience that y'all can come and join and be a part of. Now, I did a poll, so shout out to y'all. I'm thinking with this poll, guys, I love that y'all been engaging with me so much. So shout out to y'all. But I'm thinking with this poll that I drafted up, I'm thinking next week because that'll be perfect. That's almost like the last week of the regular season or last week of the off season, right? I did a poll and a lot of you guys voted. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys here real quick before we get into today's show. All right, because football season is about here and we're going to be consistent throughout, you know what I'm saying, every single Wednesday having a show. Okay, so I did a poll. 7 of you voted. I will take that as much more engagement than I've had on some of these polls. And you guys want me to drop my college football top 25, right? I was kind of nervous. I was like, but they want to hear what I got to think, man. It's gonna shake y'all the hell up. It's gonna shake y'all up, and I might come out with my new one every single week, and maybe I reveal it on my show, my AP top 25. So I can't wait to see the engagement that we get when this drops. I'm thinking of revealing on the show next week, but I'm thinking I might drop this on either. Well, the day for the AP poll for me is Tuesday. I think it drops every Monday. But I think I'm gonna drop mine on Tuesday for my own. So I can't wait to see what you guys say, how I have it ranked the preseason. It's gonna be a lot of fun to follow this all college football season. I plan to follow it, big games, losses. You know what I'm saying, instant reactions, game recaps, who stood out, who balled, who sucked, upcoming weeks. I'm excited, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun, man. So I hope you guys grow with me. We're gonna still be doing high school football on Mondays and highlights on Fridays, but Saturday is college football. Of course, I'll be covering Georgia Tech, but when I get home or whenever I have time, I will have my DVR set and I'll be watching nothing but college football. All right. So, like, comment, subscribe, join today, become a member of the community, man. Please become a member of the community and continue to support as we get on this grind to 6K. Let's get 6K before the season starts. All right. All right. Let's roll, man. AP top 25. Is y'all ready? Is y'all ready? I know y'all already seen it. There's been a lot of talk about it. All right. Now, this list to me, I'm not going to reveal who my number one is, but my number one is not Ohio State. And when I rank them, y'all going to be like, now what the hell you talking about? What you got going on, bro? But Ohio State does not give me number one vibes. You lost so much. You lost Sonny Styles, right? You lost Caleb Downs, right? You lost some of these elite players. I don't think this is the same team, y'all. I think they're good. I don't think this is the same team. Oregon to me is not number two. Oregon don't give number two vibes, right? Um, yeah, you brought back Dante Moore. Yeah, you got Decorian Moore. Yeah, you got some good pieces, man. But that's not the number two team in the cut. Nah. Now, to me, Georgia, and I go over all of mine. Some of Georgia Tech fans, man, don't be mad at me. I think Georgia is a top two team in the country. I think top to bottom, you look at that roster and it's loaded. The issue that some people have about Georgia and they don't feel confident about is the wide receiving core. But I do think they will mature. Do think they will be ready. You got Gunnar Stockton, who's going to be ready to go. A good running game this year. Offensive line that is special. I think Georgia has a potential chance to win it all this year. And I know Georgia Tech fans are going to hate me, but that roster is loaded and they're very good. For Notre Dame, I think that's a little bit too high for them. Texas, a little bit too low at number 5 for me. I think that's a team you move up. Can Indiana get a little bit of love? They did go get Nick Marsh. They did go get Josh Hoover. I mean, they do bring back Elijah Hardy. Like, can Indiana get a little bit of love? And I ain't going to lie to y'all. And number 7, Miami got freaking disrespected. I agree with Chris Kent. I usually don't, but I agree. The disrespect is real. How in the hell is Miami ranked 7, y'all? Somebody explain that to me, please. Because I look at that team, they got better. What are they really replacing for real? Now, I've talked about my concern with the offensive line, 4 new starters, right? Obviously, Samson Onkula is going to be in there. You got obviously Johnson Kentwell, Ryan Rodriguez, and Co. I do want to see if they match. That's the biggest concern for Miami. I feel like defensive line wise with Ahmad Moulton and Damian Wilson, they'll be fine. They got Muhammad Toure coming back another year. Linebacker core will be pretty good. Corners, OJ Frederick, I think is a first round draft pick in my opinion. Paired with Bryce Fitzgerald, who led rookies, or should I say, true freshmen with interceptions last year with 6. And then they went and got Darian Minson and Cooper Barcade to go along with Malachi Tony. And then you brought back Mark Fletcher and Gerard Pringle. How are they 7? The math not mathing to me. I know it's my favorite team, but the math not really mathing to me. Yeah, no. Texas A&M at 8 is not that bad. I feel like they pride a little bit on the 7-6 line a little bit, but I'm not mad at it. Ole Miss might move up a little bit, man. With QB1 coming back and Trinidad Chambers and Kewan Lacey, they lost a couple players, man. To LSU defensive wise, will they be as good? I don't really know. We're gonna have to find out. We're gonna have to find out. I think they bring back Suntarine Perkins back for another year, so we'll see how that defense looks. They gotta solve some things, right? The offense can score with the best of them. The firepower is there, but we gotta see. Oklahoma's too damn high. 10, no. Sorry. Now I know John Mateer had the finger injury and he wasn't the same afterwards. Defense was really good last year, but they lost some pieces. Lost Stegner. They lost some pieces. I might be wrong if Stegner's coming back. They lost some pieces of the wide receiver core. I don't know if Oklahoma's going to be as good. Like, they have a brutal schedule, a brutal 4 to 5 game stretch of the season, and for me, I think they overachieved last year. If I'm being humbly honest, they did save Brett Venables' job, but I think they overachieved a little bit. That has to be said. I would change them for LSU at number 10. If you're going to go number 10, I go LSU. LSU top to bottom. Sam Leavitt, Harlem Berry's in there, Caden Durham. Look at Jace Brown and those boys in the defense were led by Whit Weeks. And then DJ Pickett at the cornerback spot. LSU's a top 10 team to me. They ain't number 1. They ain't in the top 5. They number 10 though. I would flip flop those, right? Texas Tech to me is too high. Bring Texas Tech back a little bit. I don't know how good that quarterback's gonna be. That ain't Brendan Sorsby. Bring that back. And they replacing Jacob Rodriguez, right? They obviously replacing several pass rushers. I don't think Texas Tech's gonna be as good as y'all think. I would put BYU with Brett Botmeyer and Martin, LJ Martin, and those boys, and Therian Alexander. They're gonna be a lot better. Now I talked about a little bit on my TikTok about what Paul Feinbaum had to say about Alabama. It was a little disrespectful. He felt good in their misery. He was like, "Oh, y'all should have been ranked lower." I think 13 is a good spot for Bama, though. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they're getting a little disrespected. Like, yeah, they got some injuries. Yeah, the team going, but the wide receiver core, Derek Meadows and Latsier Brooks and Ryan Coleman Williams and Sidarian Morgan, and Xavier Crowell, they got talent. Why are we acting like Bama is sorry? Dijon Lee, Xavier Brown back another year. Some young thoroughbreds stepping up for them boys. Marshall Pritchard at tight end. They not trash. We got to stop acting like Bama won 10 games last year. I know they Nick Saban Bama, but damn, what is y'all expecting from Bama? That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Now, for me, when I come up with my poll, I'll actually put USC higher. I think USC, I agree with JB Piquet. I think USC could be dangerous this year, man. When you look at the Trojans with Jaden Mayava and the pieces that they bring back, yes, they lost Jacoby Lane. Yes, they lost Makai Lemon, but I think the running game is going to be good. I think the offense is going to be humming. I think the defense got better too. Yeah, they in the Big Ten. Yeah, they got to play Oregon and some of those teams, but I think USC should be right there when it comes to, being a really good formidable team this year. I think they deserve a little bit more love. Yeah. Michigan is Michigan. We'll see kind of how things look. It's a big year for Bryce Underwood. It's that simple. I think middle of the pack is about right where they should be. Kyle Whittingham is the new coach. Good dynamic duo, Savion Hyder and Jordan Marshall. Winning got not Jonte Cook. Who's that 5-star receiver that was at Texas? I can't remember bro's name, but y'all know what I'm talking about. 5-star receiver from Texas that transferred to Michigan. They're gonna have him too. Big year for Michigan. Let's see what it looks like with Kyle Whittingham. Washington, to me, not ranked. I'm not ranking Washington. Sorry. Just not a team I would rank. I don't know how the morale of the team is going to be after Damon Williams pulled the stunt that he pulled and tried to leave and left in the fashion that he tried to leave. I don't know. Yeah. Mm-mm. Penn State, some are very high. Now, Penn State is basically just Iowa State last year for the most part. They made some different changes. Lost the defensive corner. Jim Knowles was now at Tennessee. Rocco Beck, we know how good he is, but can he take care of that damn football? I don't know. I would say pump the brakes a little bit. I don't know what Penn State's going to look like. They'll be very interesting to see what they do in the Big Ten. We'll leave it there. SMU ranked 19. I think that's a good spot for Kevin Jennings and Rhett Lashley. Curious to see what they're gonna do this year. They got to figure out that damn defense. Offense, hey bro, they had them in games, winning games, doing their thing, and the defense gave all it up. Got to be better. I think 20, which has been the talk and topic of a lot of conversation, I think we'll discuss later in the show. Tennessee getting a little disrespected. Not 20. I like them at 20. Tennessee, I know they got a new quarterback in situations. They made some defensive changes. They ain't got Jim Knowles, as we talked about a little bit earlier. Best wide receiver core, I think, in the SEC, maybe even in the nation. That rivals Texas with Cam Coleman and Ryan Wingo. Also Florida with Dallas Wilson, Eric Singleton Jr., and Vernon Brown. They got Radarius Jackson, Travis Smith Jr., Mike Matthews, Braylon Staley, TK Keys. I mean, did y'all see how Deshaun Bishop looked? Yoked, jacked. Derek Owens getting them boys right. I mean, I know they got 3 injuries. Jade has heard. I know about Jaden Harmon, obviously, and fortunately, Edges Fruit, but the ball should be fine. I like him at 20. I like it. Now, Utah's a talented team. New head coach. Heard about their wide receivers. Heard about the talent that Utah got. Utah could be sneaky this upcoming year. Iowa, very interesting team to say the least, man. Can they get the offense going? Biggest question. Can they get the offense going? Houston with Keyshawn Henderson is going to be very interesting. A lot of hype on this team this upcoming year, man. Can they make some noise in the Big 12? They might can. This team could win 9, 10 games in a wide open Big 12. They could even make the Big 12 championship playing BYU. That wouldn't surprise me. 24, you got obviously Louisville. Louisville, I don't think should be an SEC or ACC team that's ranked in my humble opinion. Yes, they have Isaac Brown. Yes, they have Keywan Brown. Yes, they have a pretty good defensive line in front 7, but I don't know how good Lincoln Keoghs is. Yes, he did go to Ohio State, but what does that mean? He barely played. I don't know. I got to see him in live game action. 25, Missouri. I'm not ranking them. I like Ahmad Hardy, but new quarterback, probably transfer to Virginia. I don't know how good Missouri's going to be. Yeah, defense was decent last year, but not worthy of being ranked in. No. So that's the AP Top 25. That's my reaction. That's my thoughts, man. It's okay. I give it a B. I give it a B. Could be better, but I give it a B. All right. Now we're gonna move to the teams that we cover. As y'all know, we cover Alabama, Auburn. Sorry about that. Oh, y'all. But yeah, y'all know we cover Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, Miami, and Georgia Tech, man. So we're going to start with Auburn. Not too much to talk about here today, but we're going to talk about the new transfer that they recently here just got right before preseason camp. It's crazy that, I mean, I thought the transfer portal was closed, but still late additions. Tennessee made a late addition as well. Trey Taylor is going to be the guy, wide receiver 5'6", 150 pounds from Louisiana native, playing for Tyler Junior College. He exited JUCO level as a second-team All-American and widely viewed as a top 15 transfer among JUCO. Between the season at Coastal Carolina and Troy each, Taylor tallied 48 receptions for 761 yards and 4 touchdowns in 27 games. Trojans' third leading receiver last fall. And then the season prior, he was a dual-use return man for the Chocolatiers, returning kickoffs. So what does that tell me? I think for Auburn, a situation where you're still trying to figure out who your receiver is going to be. Keyshawn Singleton's in that conversation. He should be able to have an impact in the role. I think this gives you much needed depth to the team and to the roster. Who else will emerge besides Singleton? We will find out for this Auburn team. But we know they want to run the football. We know they want to play smash mouth football. But I think Trey Taylor is going to give you that weapon in the return game, that weapon out of the slot, right? A guy that, hey, we need a spark for our offense. Hey, we need a spark in special teams. I think Trey Taylor is what Alex Goes identified. And I think that's what he looked at and he was like, okay, I think this guy could be a good fit for our program and our team. We need a little bit more of this. Let's bring him in, play JUCO. We see how dynamic and electric he could be with the ball in his hands. Let's add him to the roster. I think he could potentially benefit us, help us out a whole bunch. I think that's what happened in this situation. And I really believe that is why they obviously brought him in. Okay, now moving on, we're going to go to obviously Alabama. Not too much to say on Auburn at the current moment, but I will say they do have a big time scrimmage. I think earlier today, or they have tomorrow. I'm unsure, but they are going to basically have, what I'm saying, a big time scrimmage that's going to be coming up. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens there. All right, now let's go to the other Alabama team and let's talk about what Ryan Grubb, the QB coach, basically had to say. Said, per quote, "We're close." Grubb told reporters Monday in Tuscaloosa. I mean, we're getting close to game week, so I would say by next week we'll have to make that call. That's going to be a major news next week when we determine how good Alabama's going to be. Austin Mack, Keelan Russell has been battling for the job all offseason. Valentine Simmons is a partner from the NFL. We obviously all know that. Here is what was said in that session. Two tit picks with a low point. Grubb said, "I thought that they were built momentum after the first couple series. First two series were just kind of honestly just clumsy initially. Operationally, we weren't very good, and that affected how we were executing some plays, and it was quarterback driven. So once we got them over that, we moved the ball effectively. I think 4 straight drives, so that was encouraging to see pop themselves out of a hole, especially when it happened back. Since then, Grubb said the two have improved. The last two practices have been two of our best days, Grubb said. Not maybe, they definitely have been. So I thought we really have built on some packages there the last couple of days and have had a really nice, just got done with a great move the ball session. Had a touchdown and a field goal with the ones and the twos, with the ones on 2 drives, which was awesome. Okay. So that's what he said. So to me, that tells me a decision is imminent. It's coming. It's coming down the pike. We're gonna see what happens in this situation with these two players and these two obviously quarterbacks. It's pretty simple. Killing DeBoer, unfortunately, I don't think he's gonna get the benefit of the doubt in the media this year. They own his neck. They own his head top. They definitely are trying to make this as difficult as possible for him. I think he's a good damn coach. He's just not Nick Saban. That's okay. He's not Nick Saban, but he's a good damn coach, right? And if you DeBoer, you know the camaraderie. You know people are backing Keelan Russell. You got to go with the more talented player. We even send him spinning the ball a little bit, just boom, spinning that thing. You got to go with him. He's more talented. Austin Mack is good, but I'm gonna ride with the sophomore. Yeah, there's gonna be ups and downs. Yeah, he might not play his best early on, but I'm gonna roll with the kicks and the punches early with him because I know the ceiling is way higher than Austin Mack. It's just that simple. There's a reason you went and you flipped this kid from SMU in the recruiting cycle. This is the time to land and give him the spot. And I think next week is going to be the start of where we see Tennessee name their starter. We're obviously going to see Alabama name their starter, and some other teams that are in QB competitions name their starter. And I think for Alabama, don't make the process hard. You should know who you're rolling with. You got injuries. The relationship and rapport he has with the wide receivers is there. They want him to play. They like him. He ingratiates himself with the team. That is the move. I've said it before. I said it all summer. I said it in the spring. Roll with Keelan Russell. It's that simple. I don't think he's in a hot seat situation, but you want to change kind of the dynamic, and the best way to change the dynamic of what people think of DeBoer in Alabama in the current iteration of Alabama is to play Keelan Russell. Play Keelan Russell. It's that simple. Play Keelan Russell, and I promise you, you will get back to winning those 10 games you won last year, and you might even make a little run in the playoffs, and maybe people can shut the hell up. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they can shut up. Say that right there. We're gonna leave that right there. Okay. Now, next thing I want to talk about is the Georgia Bulldogs. Okay. Georgia Bulldogs. Okay. So what's going on with Georgia, right? And I said it on the onslaught. I think Georgia might have one of the more talented teams, right? And for Georgia, they got several guys that were standing out from what we heard in fall camp, right? Per several articles. KJ Bolden is KJ Bolden. We know how special and talented he is. But what I'm hearing is that Kyron Jones is starting to kind of come on a little bit for the Georgia Bulldogs. And that is exciting because he's a safety. He's coming on. He's playing well. And it gives you a sense of, okay, like we got everything we need in order to be good. I feel like our team is ascending in the right pattern, ascending in the right way. And I feel like this is what we definitely need to do in order to kind of, be that team, be difference makers, and make it to where we want to make it. Now, the key difference for Georgia this upcoming year to watch, most people are going to look at secondary. I'm going to go D line, right? And that's going to be led by Elijah Griffin, Xavier McLeod, Jordan Hall, Joseph Janai, Ajonajay, and then Joshua Horton. The difference is Horton was a transfer a few years ago from Miami. Griffin was a 5-star prospect. This defensive line simply has to be better for Georgia, right? And for it to be better, they got to get more pressure. They got to have more havoc rate, right? And they need more guys to stand out, right? Yes, it's going to be a rotation. Yes, it's going to be different players. But for Georgia, it has to be better if they're going to take that step forward. Because I've seen lots of last year, secondary's covering well, couldn't get no pressure. Or vice versa, secondary struggling, got pressure, but it's too late. Like Georgia has to find a happy medium this year, and it's going to determine how good they're going to be in 2026, right? If they can figure that out, get more pressure from this front seven, right, and play much better, this could be a team that's dangerous this upcoming year. I told y'all my poll, Georgia's ranked very high, right, because I believe in what they can do this year, and like I said, I'm not biased. I'm not a Tech fan. I have no I have no issue with Georgia, right? I at heart I'm a Miami fan, but I cover Georgia Tech, right? And I know just Georgia Tech fans don't want to hear this, but I think Georgia has to figure out that D line. If they can figure out the D line, y'all, and they get back to what they were with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and some of those edge rushers, this is a team I think can be in title contention. I really do. But the issue is you need people to start standing out, right? You ain't got that much time, right? This is the third week of fall camp. This is it. You 8-9 practicing. You don't get a whole bunch of practices fall camp, right? Because literally after this week with Georgia Tech, like you prepping for game week. All the focus and preparation is gonna be on that team you playing. So for Georgia, it's like that's my one concern. Two concerns: D line, wide receiver. Those are two concerns when it comes to Georgia. Quarterback, you got the guy. Running backs, you're good. Good stable of backs. Offensive line should be good. Can the wide receivers and can the D line take a step forward? That's going to be the difference if Georgia wins a title or gets to a championship game. The reason I say that is because there's some growing up that has to be done. Most people don't want to talk about the elephant in the room when it comes to Georgia, and I ain't acting like I'm an insider. I'm outside looking in. But for Georgia, the major difference is can the wide receivers, some young bucks in there, some veterans with Scovey or White Helton, but some young bucks in CJ Wiley, Taylor, Ethan Barbour expected to be back this year, Caden Prothro. Who's going to merge, right? Who's going to be them guys you lean on in crunch time in those big games? Defensive line. Okay, let's say it's a game. It's defensive. Your offense just put you up. It's a minute 30 in the game. 21-17 lead. Can that D line close it out? Because before, Georgia was closing out them damn games. Can the D line close out that game? Can they get pressure on the quarterback? Or will we see a shootout like we saw with Ole Miss in the damn Sugar Bowl? Them is the questions I have for Georgia. It's going to be very interesting to see if they're going to be able to answer them. Very interesting to see. All right. But we're going to leave that there, man. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on with the Tennessee Vols. All right. Cover them a lot on the channel. Okay. And here's the latest. This is Heather Dinich. All right. College football playoff insider, ESPN insider for college football. She said, I can't believe Tennessee's even ranked, says ESPN analyst Heather Dinich. Dennis is not buying the big orange heading into the season and sounded off on the Vols' placement in the AP poll during the feature on the Pat McAfee show. Why is Tennessee ranked, let alone number 20? I mean, they better find a quarterback and find some answers fast there. I have so many questions about them, Dennis continued. Not to say they can't do it, but preseason, based on answers, not questions, I don't know why the Vols are in there. Now, it's very interesting because Tennessee, like the second year in a row now, they've been low-key disrespected. Right? For the second year in a row now, they've been looked at in the media as bottom dwellers almost to a sense. Because that's what it was last year. Like, oh, Nico Amaliava left. Like, what y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do? And that offense went involved. Chris Brazel the second balled, and Mike Matthews balled, and Star Thomas balled, Braylon Staley balled, Deshaun Bishop balled. Offense wasn't really a problem. Yeah, you had some turnovers and things like that. The defense couldn't get it done a lot of times. He's giving up too many damn big plays. That's why they moved on from Tim Banks and they went to Jim Knowles. But I feel like, what has Tennessee really done to deserve the disrespect? Like, yeah, quarterbacks, didn't they have to figure that out last year? Okay. Um, Quarterback's not really the issue when it comes to Tennessee. Keep telling people that. Like, you gotta like study what the hell, I almost cuts. What the hell's going on? Quarterback's not the problem. Josh Heupel's 6, 7 year. He knows what he's doing there. The problem is that D line, not linebacker, loaded position, low depth concern about safety, but you got Jean Lane there and Sidney Walton and those boys. It's D line. You didn't get enough pressure last year. I don't mean to keep beating the dead horse on D line, but you didn't get enough pressure. Struggle bus. You know, Chaz Coleman situation went awry. Yikes. Um, you got some player Jonathan Norman. You got some players down there that you expecting to step up. Who's it gonna be? As a young pup, we don't know what this D line gonna look like, and that's concerning, right? You got Aaron Carter, Amari Campbell, you got Jaden Parlati, Brandon Rouse has been pushing some guys, but who's gonna be a guy on D line? That's more of the question when it comes to Tennessee. There's no question offensively. O line's gonna be damn good. You've seen O'Reilly Williams, you've seen David Sanders and the boys. The one issue and concern is D line. Everyone wants to make it about quarterback. It ain't quarterback. It's D line. Outside of that, Tennessee has a lot of questions answered. Whether they go with McIntyre or they go with Brandon, go look at the damn wide receivers as we talked about earlier in the show. Go look at the running game. Go look at that damn offensive line that's 6'7", 6'8", and above. Quarterback gonna be fine. His first couple games, he ain't even gonna have to just hand that motherfucker off. Get off. You're good. So for Dennis, I just disrespectful. It's disrespectful. I think Tennessee's good. You know what I'm saying? Put some respect on their name. You know, Heupel has done this multiple times. Amaliava, when he went to the playoffs, was a freshman. He got him there, didn't it? He could do it again. So put some respect on him. You know? They got everything they need. The big question is D line. Can they figure it out? We're gonna see. Outside of that, quarterback they'll be fine. Question is D line. My next question is staying on the D line and talking real quick about Jim Knowles. How good will he be for Tennessee this year? Very, very big question. And the reason I pose that question is because of the injuries, right? That is my concern about Tennessee. Lost Jadez hurt. You lost Edris Farouk, who's supposed to have a big year for you. You lost Jaden Hartman, who was a big blow to your depth. How creative will he be with this team? Talent's there. Got Kenyon Lee. You got Tyler Redmond, who came on. Your linebacker course loaded. We just talked about it. But how creative will you be? Will you have to bring more pressure with this front four not getting home? Right? Rodney Gardner's already expressed the concern that he has about the D line and the inconsistency of it. That's concerning, right? So for Knowles, he pretty much produces good defenses. But now, how good can it be year one? It's a major question. Because if it's a struggle, if they can't get it done, then you look back at Heupel, who made this hire, who chose to move on from Tim Banks, and I'm moving in a different direction, right? So it has to work, and it has to be good. And if they're not, it's gonna be a long damn year for Tennessee, a long year. So I'm curious to see how creative he will be. I'm curious to see how he's going to deploy this defense. Does he play more shell coverage? Does he play more zone? Or is he more attack style aggressive, blitzing, right? Breaking exotic blitzes, right? Running stunts with his defensive linemen. Those are going to be the questions I have for Jim Knowles this upcoming season. And if that defense is hitting, you got to give him the game ball. You got to give him the game ball why this team is better and potentially on the outside looking into a playoff spot because the defense got better compared to all the injuries they had preseason. And they did what they was able to do. And the distractions too. Gotta get him all the credit in the world. So we're gonna see how creative he can be this upcoming year. All right. Last SEC team that we're gonna talk about is Texas. I haven't talked about Texas in a little while, man, but Derek Cooper's growth becoming a big Texas fall camp storyline. And this is major. We've talked about Derek Cooper a little bit. And the reason is major for Texas. You already got Hollywood Smothers. You got Relique Brown. You're looking at potentially a third back. A third back for Texas. The rich get richer. 5-star coming out of high school from Florida. That's major. And he's a major storyline right now for the Longhorns. Okay, so let's see what was said, obviously, via the quotes. This is what looks like Sarkisian had to basically say. He said, I really love D Coop. He's a hard charging guy. He's fast, or he's physical. He plays fast, Sarkeesian said. His understanding of the offense has been very impressive for a young player. I think his physicality, the speed in which he plays the game, has been very impressive, right? So I'm looking at a elusive, quick, fast guy in Hollywood Smothers. I'm more of a thumper in Malik Brown. But then you add the perfect combination of the two. And I think he even drew comparisons to Bijan Robinson, I think, coming in. So for Texas, you look at Michael Terry too, and you're looking at a dangerous running back room that takes the pressure off of Arch Manning, because most people are going to gear up to stop that two-headed monster on the outside and Cam Coleman and Ryan Wingo. But then you look at, okay, you can have a defense on the heels, and then you can run that ball and thump, right? And you could bring in a freshman and thump. Lord, it might be a problem. It might be a problem. So I love the attention he's getting. He could easily be a dude for them. And last year, after struggling on the ground, I think that's impressive. Here's one more quote he had to say. I think the area where he had to take the biggest jump was really understanding pass protection. Most young backs struggle with that. And that's like any young runner, Sarkeesian said. But as impressive, I think, has been his knowledge, his willingness to learn. And he's done a really good job of learning from Malik and Hollywood and Ryan Niblett, right? So taking in the teaching, getting better in all aspects of your game, right? Wanting to become a guy, right? Not thinking you the ish because you were a top tier player coming out of high school, but taking the teaching, taking the coaching. It's impressive, man. I think could be a guy for them. And then when we look next year, and we're talking about Texas and the Longhorns, we're going to look at this guy as, oh, that's the star. That's the starter. This guy rushed for over 500 plus yards and 7, 8 touchdowns last year as a true freshman. And then we look at what we looked at a couple years ago with Bijan Robinson, starting as a sophomore and was the guy. I think they could be looking at the same situation with Hollywood Smothers and Malik Brown being, saying veterans of the group. He could easily be in that situation next year. It's gonna be interesting to see what he does. If he does how we think he can perform, look out. He might become a dude. No cap. All right. Last thing, big injury news for Texas. All right. Trevor Goosby, right, officially ruled out. Okay. Timeline yet to be determined. Working back from an injury. The official injury was called a bone bruise to his left knee during practice. Now, this was a major move for Texas this year to get Goosby and to bolster the offensive line. It was not good last year. It was not. Games they struggled against Mississippi State and Kentucky, the offensive line was not putting in work, bro. So he's expected to be a guy for you. Now, this comes late in camp, season's around the corner, right? And luckily for Texas, your first opponent is not Ohio State, but you played in week 2. So you need that. You need your best players to play, man. So I think this is a major injury for the Longhorns, man. Right? They obviously was very very aggressive in the portal and bringing in guys, but he's easily their best offensive lineman. So you want to make sure you don't do too much and rush him back, but you're also going to need him moving forward. So it's going to be interesting to see how Texas and the offense looks. Does it struggle? Not because of Arch, but because they can't get to the second level defense and run block. They can't. Their pass block win rate is low. It's going to be interesting, man, because he was supposed to be that stabilizer. Excuse me, this year for Texas. I mean, he's not in. Scratch your head a little bit, man. That's kind of concerning for the Longhorns, man. So we're gonna see what happens, but definitely not news Texas fans want to see. In a bone bruise could have been way worse. It ain't an ACL, it ain't none of that, but definitely want to see him obviously get back. You know what I'm saying? For sure. All right. So we'll leave it there. That is it for the Texas Longhorns. We're gonna move now to my Miami Hurricanes. Okay. And let's just talk real quick about Canes Insight and what they basically had to say. Miami Hurricanes fall camp. Javian Mallory, Samori Wingo, lead freshman poised to step up. Okay, let's read obviously some of what they had to say. Samori Wingo is the receiver I'm watching the closest, with Cam Vaughn's future in doubt. Right, we know about Cam Vaughn. He was the miss from the team. Right, so now there's one less playmaker in that room. Young guys got to step up. Think about Samori Wingo. Think about Vance Spafford. Right, and some of those boys are going to be the ones that have to step up for Miami. Right. And receiver has been low key slept on, but it's a major, major role this upcoming season for the Miami Hurricanes, right? And the reason it is because obviously they have Cooper Barquet, obviously they have um, Malachi Tony, but who's the third guy? Right? Who emerges there? Is it Wingo Spafford? Is it a veteran? Is it Dalen Upshaw? Who's going to emerge there? Obviously for the Miami Hurricanes, right? That's going to be a major question for them moving forward because they can get doubled, they can get tripled, right? So that's very interesting. He also pointed out, go to King's Insight, J.D. Dunnigan might be the most talented freshman defensive back in the class. Could play nickel, could play boundary safety like Jacoby Thomas. He could play the Keontae Scott role and Zachariah Poyser role as well. So he's been getting a lot of buzz in addition to Bryce Fitzgerald. He's also lamented Brody Jennings and Jalen Waters as running the best freshman corner battle nobody's talked about. All right, so I go to King's Insight, man. That's a couple players that he mentioned in terms of fall camp. For my Miami Hurricanes, my concern is offensive line. Can the offensive line be better? If it can be, I feel pretty good, but they got to figure that out. Because if the offensive line struggles, no man, could be a long year, man. You got everything you need. You got the Ferrari and Porsches and Lambos, but is the forward, you know what I'm saying, good in the interior? Is the engine running the right way? That's some of my questions with my Hurricanes, man. I keep it short, you know what I'm saying? But I should see what my Hurricanes do this upcoming year. Very interesting. All right. Last but not least, Georgia Tech. All right, Georgia Tech. Now we're going to talk about a little bit about what was said today as it pertains to Alberto Mendoza, right? And I think it's very significant about what was said about Alberto Mendoza. Okay. Now, this is what Coach Winky had to say, and he described him as a high level thinker. And this is a team they're going to do over um, 250 plays. You know what I'm saying, this upcoming year at their disposal. So, I think that's major for Georgia Tech moving forward and everything that they obviously want to do. So here is Coach Winky on that. 1 second. Okay, via SI. Okay, well, you can tell a high level thinker by the questions he asked, right? So most quarterbacks are just trying to say all the right call play in the huddle. Alberto, already learned and understood the play. He's already asking second level questions, meaning, all right, hey, if I get this coverage, should I work here first? Should I get this coverage? Should I work here first? So he's already studied it, learned it. He picks it up very quick, but he's thinking about not just the play for us, but how do we attack the defense? The type of conversations you have with this guy are like having a conversation with the NFL quarterback, right? Very high praise, I thought, on Alberto Mendoza, him being a high level thinker. And he also described him throughout as basically, man, a perfectionist, right? And Mendoza described himself as a perfectionist as well. Wanting to do things the right way, wanting to have the right skill set, wanting to every day be great, right? Wanting to have all the details, very detail oriented. And I think the high level thinker is very important piece, right? Said I'm paraphrasing, but says he's in there 24/7. Say he's basically always putting in the work, gracious himself with his teammates. I think the key though, the high level part has me thinking because if you have a guy, let's say it's a check at the line, or let's say, hey, you get the coverage and you need to dissect it and you need to change some things around, he can do that easily. And Coach Winky also talked about they went 14 for 14 at their checks in the scrimmage they had this past Saturday. So what does that tell me? That tells me this is a team that they can check at the line of scrimmage, see what they're looking at, check it, and get into the right play every single time, right? And I think that cerebralness is something that's not being talked about enough from Mendoza. When Georgia Tech gets overlooked and not ranked in number 41 overall, I don't think people are looking at how good Mendoza is processing and how smart and high level of a thinker he is. And I think that's going to be the key difference for Georgia Tech this upcoming year. The reason I mentioned that, to be honest with you guys, is because while that gets overlooked and not talked about, I told, I think Jarvis is on Locked on Georgia Tech before, probably in the summer. That gives me the vibe of Joe Burrow. Is he the skill set? Is he the play? No, he's not. But that was his superpower, right? It still is. Yes, he has some good intangibles. Yes, he has what I'm saying, he's 6'4", he's big, but Burrow could process what you're doing and beat you to it every single time and beat you at a drum, right? And check it and make the right plays and calls. And he would be so in sync with what the defense was doing, he could check to Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, right? Or whoever it was. Thaddeus Moss and get into the right play and make sure the offense was rolling. That is significant, right? While Haynes King was very good and obviously balled out with the Panthers in the preseason game, to have that and have that level of a thinker, and I'm sure Haynes King was on that level too, but that changes things for you because it's different, right? Like for Georgia Tech, they was like, okay, let's put it in Haynes King's hands and let him take over. This is different because you're letting him beat the other teams mentally. Not, oh, we got to run RPO and put Haynes King body on the line. Nah, we're going to let Mendoza diagnose what the hell you're doing and we're going to break it down. And the difference of what we're going to do is, you know what I'm saying? We're going to expose it and we're going to know what to do and we're going to be able to hit you every time. That is a superpower, right? Because then when you coaching you on the field and you Chris Winkie, you're not worried up at night. You're not like, what is Berto gonna do? Nah, I feel good with what Berto's gonna do. He comes to the film room. He's always in the film room. He knows what he's looking at. He knows the dissect coverage, and he knows where to go with the football. No one talks about it enough in football, but that is a superpower. That is massive. And if you're a Yellow Jackets fan, it makes you think like, oh, okay, this dude got some stuff to him, right? While the concern has been wide receivers, maybe some parts of the offensive line, but Mendoza being a high level thinker ain't being talked about enough. And I think that could be his superpower. Why people are so enamored with the 25 career passing attempts. If he's going to know where to go with that football and he can be extremely accurate, which is on his resume, you look at his PFF grade, probably one of the more accurate throwers you're going to find, and you couple that with his ability to process and know to go with the football and know what he's looking at every single time, that makes Georgia Tech dangerous. And while the spread has them at 6.5 games to win, could be way more, right? That high level process thing could be different. So you beating a Tennessee team week 2, right? Or beating Louisville at home this upcoming year, right? Or going down the stretch and hey, you played your butts off against Georgia, you need to drive. And Mendoza closes the damn game out. Because he's processing everything from that NFL level defense that Georgia's gonna have, and he's gonna know where to go with the damn football. I'm telling y'all, man, some big stuff today that was said. And that reveals a lot. We're gonna see, right? It's good to talk, but we're gonna see if it's for real. And if it is for real, Tech might be a damn problem this year. It might be a damn problem. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be very intriguing to see what happens. So sleep on Tech if you want to. Boys coming for you. Yeah. But that's gonna do it for today's show, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in, man. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this latest episode, man. And as always, man, appreciate you guys' love and support. And you know what I'm saying? I'll see you guys in the next one. And guys, please let me know other topics you want to see covered on the Truth With Najeh Wilkins college football show, all college football. So let me know other topics y'all boys want to see. All right. See you guys in the next one and enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace, love, and blessings.